All right. I was very wrong. The Boston Celtics are your 2024 NBA champions. Goodness, a team that I pretty much took a dump on whenever I could. I was not really impressed by what their 64 win record, I believe, is what it was. 64 wins. Um, I really thought 64 and 18. 37 and 4 at home, 4 losses at home in the year. That's absolutely crazy. Absurd numbers. So yeah, a team that was really good, and I just continue to have doubts about. I mean, I picked the finals to be the Nuggets beating the Bucks. Still believe that even with Luka playing quite well, that I would put Giannis as the second best player in the NBA. I'd go Jokic, Giannis, then Luka, which has been my top 3 for the last 2 years, I think now. So I'm kicking Embiid out. I don't even consider him top 5 anymore. 4 and 5 would be SGA and Anthony Edwards at the moment. But is it a little bit too hype for Anthony? Maybe, but put Wemby like 10th. I think by this time next year. Well, we'll get to that later. We should be thinking about the Boston Celtics. And I'm going to title this episode something like "I was very wrong." I think that might actually be the title because I was. This team, I mean, if we're going to run through the history of it, 2018 is they go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs. Jason Tatum's a rookie. Jaylen Brown's in his second year. Kyrie Irving is there. It appears when Kyrie Irving gets hurt, he's not playing against the Cavs. It appears like potentially as a rookie, Jason Tatum's going to the NBA Finals. They lose. The Cavs go on to be in the finals, and they get swept by the Warriors. Next year in 2019, Celtics go out in the second round. Tough. Real tough. Well, actually, did they go out second round or did they go out first round? I have to check that real quick, guys. All of a sudden, I cannot remember. Let me check this real quick. This was second round of the Bucks. That's what I thought. They beat the Pacers first round. Everybody thought that was going to potentially be the best team in the East that year. They end up losing to the Bucks in the second round in 5 games. Next year, they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lose to the Heat. Year after that, they lose in the was that second round? I think it was. Yeah, it was. They lose in the second round to the Bucks. I just kind of think this team is going to be a really good team. I mean, gets a finals appearance here and there, but never gets it done. I would compare that to like the late 90s Jazz or the Mavericks before 2011 or the Suns. Well, the Suns never made a finals with Steve Nash in them, but that's kind of what I would think of. Those late 2000 Suns. The Rockets with James Harden, like those really good teams that just couldn't get. They're really good teams that just couldn't get a chip done. I guess the Rockets never made the finals with Harden either, but you know what I mean. They're close, but no cigar type teams. I thought that was this Celtics team's destiny. I didn't think Jason Tatum could be the best player in a championship team. Some would argue that he wasn't this series, but I think that was the thing that won them the NBA title was that. It's not that they have the best player in the series. It's that they have the best 6 guys. They probably might not even have the best duo out of the finals matchup, but they have the best 6 guys in the NBA. As far as 1 to 6, if you go Tatum, Brown, White, Kristaps, Drew Holiday. Is Horford the 6? I think so. I think Horford would be 6. That 6 is the best 6 in the NBA. No doubt about it. And I think maybe you can even say 7. I think Pritchard's quite good too. But I would say those 6 are the main 6. And just that starting 5, perfect fit when it's Drew, White, Brown, Tatum, and Kristaps. Like that's a elite starting 5. And I don't think there is a better starting 5 in the NBA. As much as I'd like to say the Nuggets, I think just the best starting 5 right there. That's it. And that's how they won. They remind me a little bit of, granted, I was born after this team even won the championship, the 04 Pistons. But, that was a team where they're like, who's really the best player? Is it Ben Wallace? It was Chauncey Billups was quite good for that team, but it was a team that was just a really well-constructed team. They all came together and won the chip. It wasn't a team like you usually see, which is a top 5 player with somebody else who's like a top 20 player, and then maybe a guy who's like around 50, then a guy who's around 70 or 80, and then a guy who's in like maybe in the top 150. That's usually how it turns out. Whereas the Celtics team has 5 guys, I'd say, in the top 75 in the NBA. Al's in the top 100, probably. So 6 guys in the top 100. And then I'd say that's kind of the 04 Pistons were built. And that's a weird way to build a championship team. It doesn't usually seem to come to fruition. But it did for this Celtics team. And I have to say, again, I was very wrong. I make fun of this team a lot over the years. And even though I don't think Jason Tatum's a top 10 player, and I don't think Jaylen Brown, actually, he's getting enough credit now. I think they're both, the thing is, neither of them, I would say, are top 10. I think Tatum is fringe top 10, but I also think like him and Brown are probably top 15. Like they're both like, like the 10, 11, 12 range of players. And that's, to have 2 guys in the top 15 is pretty rare. I don't know of another team that has that. But, congrats to the Celtics. First title since 2008. First time I've really paid attention to the NBA, and they won the finals. It's first time I've paid attention to the NBA, and they won the finals. Not even to say. First time I've been paying attention since I started paying attention to the NBA in 2015. This is the first time I watched the Boston Celtics win an NBA championship, which is funny because they've won 18, the most in NBA history. So, you'd think by now I would have seen one, but I haven't. So, I was going to say 2022, I actually rooted for this team when they went up against the Warriors. And then when that series ended, I kind of came to the realization that I probably should have been rooting for the Warriors the whole time. I kind of messed with them. I kind of liked what they had going on. And so that was a really funny thing to see retroactively. But I've kind of become a hater of this team, like hardcore. So I kind of have to own up to the fact that I've been a hater of this team for kind of a long time. And now I gotta own up for that. I really did hate on this team since probably about 2 years now, ever since they lost that finals. That would have been last time. Okay, I just want to look back. The 2022 NBA Finals episode is episode 30, and then episode 31 is Andrew Wiggins as an NBA champion. Yeah, I remember Wiggins is kind of what I got behind on that Warriors team. It's funny. That's funny. Just to look back on. Sorry I went quiet there for a minute, guys. I was looking back at all these podcasts I've made. Just thought it was funny. I think about me at the Celtics team. I've never really clicked with Jason Tatum. Just never really liked him that much. Thought Jaylen Brown was pretty good, but they did it. Genevieve was very happy. Her favorite team won the NBA championship in 5 games. Reason I haven't recorded a pod about the Eastern Conference Finals because Mavericks Celtics to me was not the most interesting matchup. I was really hoping for Timberwolves Celtics, and I really would have liked that matchup for the Timberwolves. I think they could have beat the Celtics. I think the Mavericks were low-key a perfect matchup for the Celtics. And Luka, I'm interested to see where things go from here for him, like what the Mavericks' next move is. I bet they just probably run it back, but you got to think he's a little frustrated because, losing a gentleman's sweep in the finals is not fun. Now, granted, he's not going to be frustrated like trade me, but, you think they're going to want to get another piece. And I'd be interesting to see maybe LeBron starts looking that way, right? If LeBron's going to leave, that would be a good team to go to. Just want to state. And I said that to my buddy RJ months ago, back before the Mavericks were expected to be in the NBA Finals. Before the playoffs started, not too many people were picking the Mavericks to be in the finals. And around that time, I said to RJ, I was like, do you think LeBron would go there? He was like, probably not. Oh no, seems more likely now. But anyways, as far as the Celtics go, I mean, you just kind of run this team back. You hope that Kristaps stays healthy. You hope that Drew can keep playing at that high level. Congrats to Drew. Probably going to the Hall of Fame now. I don't know what his All NBAs are, but 2 NBA championships, one of the Bucks, one of the Celtics, and he was a key part of both. Very impressive for Drew. I'm glad Brown got the Conference Finals MVP and the Finals MVP. He did outplay Tatum defensively. There were some offensive games where Tatum was better, but as far as defense, Drew outplayed him, and that's just a fact, I would say. I don't think Tatum's a bad defender, but I think Jalen was just an elite defender for pretty much the whole playoff run. But it's pretty crazy that he got both MVPs when it's like, I think we would all say Tatum is better. It's just Drew had been playing better. There's no doubt about that. So props to Drew Holiday. He deserves all the praise he's going to get. I mean, he became the highest paid player in the NBA last year. Everybody, me included, was just like, whoa, a bit of an overpay. But, it's kind of how it goes with the Supermax. And with the new NBA contract for the TV deals coming in next year, now the cap's really going to raise, so that contract won't look as bad. And you really can't be mad when it resulted in a championship. So, but it's so funny because I really don't like the Boston Celtics that much, but G likes them. One of my best friends, Merrick, likes them. I love Bill Simmons, and he likes them. It's just, a lot of people I like the Celtics. I just don't. It's just funny. I don't think I have anything against the Celtics personally. It's not like the brand I don't like. It's more so I just don't really mess with Tatum or Brown. I just don't really think Brown's fun either. I don't know. Just nobody that interesting to me. I mean, I like Al Horford, but who doesn't? Props to him for getting the championship finally. Second most playoff games played without a championship, and now that's gone. Now Harden's second, after, of course, Karl Malone. And the less said about Karl Malone, the better. There's not too many good things I have to say about him. But, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I guess we now look into the future. What's going to go on here? What did we learn from this NBA playoffs? I mean, obviously the injuries thing, I don't see there's no point to put an asterisk on the championship. I don't see us doing that. I think it's dumb. So much as I like to make jokes about the COVID ring, the Mickey Mouse ring, the 2021, not 2021, 2020 space one. I don't see a lot of point putting the asterisks on this. What did the Celtics run as some injured teams? Yeah, but they also did win 64 games. They clearly played well. As far as would they have beaten the Nuggets, I don't think so. I think the Nuggets were a really bad matchup for them. Would they have beaten the Timberwolves? Maybe. That's a toss-up for me. But they played the Mavericks, and they matched up excellently against the Mavericks. And props to them for executing a great game plan on that. I don't think this will be Luka's last finals appearance, but I do think the NBA is in a really interesting spot because I honestly think if the Spurs can just nail this draft, Wemby could legitimately be a top 5 player by next year. You're saying, he could be that anyways. You're right, but if the team gets just at least a decent team around him, they could be 5 or 6 seed in the West, and Wemby could be a top 5 player in the NBA. I think Wemby is that special. I think he truly is. He could be Defensive Player of the Year as a second-year player in the league, and I honestly think people will be afraid of him, even with a decent team, not even an incredible team yet. I think he is the sleeping giant in the NBA right now, and teams know that they got to start winning chips fast before he comes because I honestly think he's going to end up with a dynasty on his hands. So it's very exciting to see what goes on with Wemby, and I think next year we could see him really do some special stuff and be a threat to win the championship. Is he going to win it? Probably not, but just a threat, which is just pretty crazy when you think about it. But I think when you're the Celtics, you're looking at the East next year and you're we're probably going to be the best team. The only team I could see coming from that is the Magic. And I think the Magic really like what they have built. If they go out and get Klay Thompson, that would be really nice for them. I think the Magic legitimately could be the best team in the East for multiple years, consecutively. The best player in the East is Giannis, but I just don't really like the team the Bucks have around him. They're going to have to retool. I think next year will be a retooling year, and then 26, 27, they might be able to compete more. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love for Dame to just play absolutely out of his mind next year, and the Bucks are contenders, and I'm picking them to be in the finals. I would love that. You guys know I love Giannis. But I'm just trying to be realistic. At the moment, what I'm seeing is the Celtics and the Magic are, to me, I think the Magic really could run stuff in the East. I think the Cavs are probably going to move off Garland. Not sure where, but because it seems like the Nets are not willing to give up Mikal Bridges for him. So I'm not sure where Garland goes, but if the Cavs stick with Mitchell, that's fine. I just think the Magic are going to pass the Cavs as far as quality. As far as my Pistons, oh goodness, I guess now is a good time to say, I don't think I'm doing a draft episode this year. On the one hand, it would be really funny because, sorry, I'm yawning. I'm recording this at midnight. On the one hand, it would be really fun because it's such an unpredictable draft. But like after like the first like 10 to 15 guys, I wouldn't know literally anybody I'm saying, and I would just be kind of saying things because this is a very unpredictable draft. And it's honest to the point where it's like I'm just going to watch it and enjoy it. I'll probably write down some predictions just for G and I to enjoy so we can be like, you got that wrong. But I don't think I'm going to record a prediction pod. I just don't really have a lot of interest. I don't have much to say, guys. Like, I just don't. I want the dude from Kentucky that can really shoot to go to the Spurs. I think that'd be good for Wemby. I don't remember his name. It's not the guy that... it's not Rob Dillingham. It's the other one. If I just type in NBA draft, maybe his name will come up. Let's see. Reed Shepherd. I think that's his name. I'd like for him to go to the Spurs at 4. If Matas Buzelis could go to the Pistons, that'd be pretty cool. I think Matas might have something to him. Not sure, though. We'll have to see. Oh, my. Yeah, I'd like for the Pistons to get Matas, and I'd like for the Spurs to get Reed Shepherd. That would be my ideal draft. I don't really care where Alex Sarr goes. I think there's going to be somebody in this draft that ends up being really good, but it'll be like some second-round pick that none of us are even aware of right now, like Jokic. So that'll be wild in like 5 years to look back on. But yeah, I'm not doing a draft prediction pod. As far as where the NBA is at, this was the most interested I've been in the NBA in years, probably since 2021. And I watched more playoff games this year than I have since 2020, which I watched a lot of because I was in school and it was fun to go to school and talk about the playoffs. So, good work by the NBA, I guess, but I think the marketing is piss poor. I have a lot of faith that NBC will make it priority television again, where it feels like an event, much like Sunday Night Football does. I think NBA and NBC is going to be a great success, and that'll be starting in 2026. So I think this next season will be the last year. Nothing against TNT. I love Inside the NBA with Shaq, Chuck, Ernie Johnson, and Kenny the Jet Smith. I really do. But let's be honest. Everything else is lacking. The presentation, the finals just don't feel special. There's no trophy on the court. There's just a lot missing from the presentation. You go back and watch, I know this clip's been going viral. Bob Costas like hyping up the fans with this cool video package talking about the importance of the game, and it makes you feel like it's important. You got to watch it. They need that back, and I think NBA and NBC should be able to provide that importance and make it priority television again. I'm very excited for that. But as far as this was a Hood Classic season, I actually think this was the best season since 2021, maybe 2022. 2022 was really good, but this was better than last year. As much as I was happy last year with Jokic winning, I think this was probably an overall stronger season. There's just more storylines to follow here. I think the Timberwolves' rise was great. I think Luka going to the finals was strong. I think the Pacers coming together was really interesting. I think they could be a fun team that eventually makes this finals one year. They lose in the finals, but they just make it one year, and they're like, oh, that was fun. That was a fun team, that Pacers team. I like what they've got brewing. I think there was a lot of interesting things. It's like this, we really do, I don't know, it really feels like we're starting to move into a new era, right? We had the era that's like 2019 playoffs, like it feels like the Kawhi finals, right, was the NBA reset. Warriors broke up. All these guys went to different teams. And then 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 was all part of a saga. And I think we're starting to get into a new saga in 25, 26, 27. I think the shift will be around 6 or 7, but we're going to see different teams dominating. We're going to see, and granted, we've had different teams every year now, but I'm saying the faces of the league right now are the Jokic, the Giannis, the Luka, and LeBron's still there, obviously, right? And I think we are shifting towards, Jokic, Giannis are still really good, but it's like Luka, Wemby, Anthony Edwards, SGA are your top guys. And I'm very excited for that. I really obviously enjoy Giannis and Jokic, my two favorite players. And then, of course, my boy Sadiq Bey and Victor Wembanyama rounding that out. But I'm excited to see what the NBA has in store. I'm being honest. Even though I think the product has a lot that needs to be improved about it, I truly like the storylines that are forming inside the NBA. And I think they need to market those storylines better. That's what the NFL does really well, is they make it – they're so good at it that the joke of it being scripted almost feels true at this point, because it's like these storylines are a little too good to not be, you know? And I think the NBA needs to get better at that. I think that would really enhance it. But I'm really excited to see what Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves do next year. I think that could be really fun. But I think around next year, the Spurs might potentially be like a, whoa. Could they make it to the finals? And they don't. But then by 27, I think the Spurs will truly be rocking and rolling. But I really should shut up, because I said the Detroit Pistons would be your 2024 NBA champions, and that clearly did not happen. So hopefully my Pistons eventually get good. I do think Cade Cunningham is good. I think Jaden Ivey's pretty solid. I have his jersey, and it's a pretty cool one because it's like the teal one, so I'm pretty proud to own that one. But love for my Pistons to be good. I would, oh my gosh. Oh man, I would love that. But is there anything else I wanted to say? All right, we'll do a fun blind prediction for next year. Goodness. Let's do Timberwolves over Magic. Why not? I'm a Magic believer. We'll do Timberwolves over Magic. I think that's a fun one. That would be pretty sweet. I think it'd be a fun finals. We'll have to see if I'm right. But I do think, was it Hood Classic NBA season? I think it was a little short just because the finals weren't the most exciting. But I think 22-21 are still probably the best two we've had. But since like 2019, because it's like when I started the pod was the fall of 2020, and you know. Okay. My mom's really gonna get on me. She hates these when these are super disorganized, and this has been a super disorganized episode. I've just kind of sat down at 12:15 at night and just started saying my thoughts about the finals because they ended yesterday. But yeah, congrats to the Celtics, everybody involved with them. Props to the organization. They're a very well-run organization. I do think their social media team is probably the best in the NBA. But yeah, 2025 prediction. Timberwolves over Magic. That probably goes 6. More likely 5. But let's say 6 for funsies. But at that point, Paolo probably be like a third team All-NBA. Props to him for that. We might see Anthony Edwards MVP. I'm getting really excited for Anthony Edwards, but I honestly do think that dude's got it, and I'm very excited to see what he does over the offseason. I would love for it to be the Bucks. We'll have to see, though. I would do it. A Bucks-Timberwolves series would feed families. The NBA marketing team is screaming. 2 small markets, but I would love it. It's very 2 marketable stars, though, with Anthony and Giannis. I mean, come on, guys. That would be money in my mind. But anything else I wanted to touch on? I did watch Hitman. I very much enjoyed Glenn Powell's performance. Thought it was really good. Don't know if it's better than Anyone But You or Top Gun Maverick, but it's really good. I need to watch some more Glenn Powell movies. I've got some lined up, like a rom-com he was in, Everybody Wants Some, the Richard Linklater film. As far as my thoughts on Hitman, I really liked it. I would recommend you go watch it. I'm sure you have Netflix. It's on there. Really fun. It reminded me a ton of an Elmore Leonard novel. That's exactly what it felt like to me, and I very much enjoyed that. I do wish it was a little more of a traditional movie like The Fall Guy. I think The Fall Guy was like super traditional, and Hitman was like super non-traditional. And if they would have mixed, we would have had 2 elite movies. As it stands, we had 2 really good movies that I loved and think are really great. But if they had mixed and taken notes from each other, we would have like 2 just absolutely incredible movies that were instant classics. I really like Hitman, though. I think it's going to be a movie that stands the test of time. People will be talking about it for years, just like, oh, that movie was really good. To me, an elite instant classic is like Top Gun Maverick, whereas this was just really good. Is Anyone But You in between those 2? I would say yes. I don't know. I got to rewatch Anyone But You and just figure out if it's better than this. But I really enjoyed Hitman. It really did feel like an Elmer Leonard novel. And I know I say that about Burn Notice all the time, but I also really mean it with Burn Notice and this. So, new season, The Boys, really good. I've been watching season 2 and season 3 to catch up because, low-key, I guess a fake fan because I love The Boys. But only ever watched the first season. I know what happens in 2 and 3, like an overview because I've talked about it with so many people, but never actually sat down and watched it, so I'm in the middle of that. It's episode 99. So episode 100. I wasn't going to do anything special, and then my buddy Blake was like, Ryan, you should do something special. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I guess it works out that I'm not doing a draft episode because there's really nothing. The summer, once the finals are over, it just depends on if I have anything I want to talk about, whether it's a movie or if I randomly get a strong opinion about the MLB. Which I usually don't. So the MLB is the one I kind of just sit back and watch more than anything. I do my predictions at the beginning of the year, and then I do my playoffs at the end. Unless there's like a big trade deadline moves, I don't usually just randomly record pods about the MLB. But maybe I get the urge. But anyways, I'm going to think of some different ideas for what would be a fun way to do episode 100. I'm really tossing around a lot of different things. So I do think we're going to do something special to celebrate, and I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. But it'll be fun, so check that out. Something fun, something interesting. I don't just want to do another award show. I like doing the Sort of Sporties, but I think it's fun if the Sort of Sporties are truly once a year. I don't want to do just an award show for something. Where it's like, oh, my favorite episodes I made. I don't want to do that. I want to do something fun that I enjoy. It's like a celebration. I don't know. I will think of something, but I got to get that done. Not done, but I got to figure that out, I guess. So, I'll do my best to figure that out. But, okay. I believe that is it. Congratulations to Boston Celtics. I do not believe you'll be winning the title next year. If you do, I will be wrong twice. But I think it was a really good NBA season. Yeah, they need to add more, I don't want to just say aura, but more gravitas to the games. And I think NBA and NBC coming 2026 will do that. But next year I think it's going to be really fun. We are only a couple years away until Victor Wembanyama just absolutely dominates, and I'm here for it, so we're good. Really happy with the storylines that formed this playoffs, though. I think the NBA is going to an even better place, and I'm very pleased with them. So I know they're not really in charge, but I mean maybe they are. Who knows? But all right, if you listen to this whole episode and you're not just Genevieve driving to work, I really appreciate it. If you are Genevieve driving to work, I still very much appreciate it. Thanks, G, for listening. You listen to me talk a lot, and so the fact you want to do it even when you're not with me, I really appreciate it. But if you listen to this all the way through, thank you so much, because I was just kind of rambling tonight, and I know I yawned like 5 times during this. So probably one of my most unprofessional podcasts. If I ever send an email to Bill Simmons and hey, big fan, I'm probably not going to send the link to this one. But sometimes it's how it goes, right? So off the cuff tonight, off the rip, and off the record, right? I don't really know what that meant, but it sounded cool, didn't it? Okay. I believe that's it. Willie Mays died today. Rest in peace, one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. And I've read before, he was just a great guy. So rest in peace to him. Oh, and Bill Walton. I didn't have a chance to mention that in the podcast. Big Bill Walton guy, one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. If you read Bill Simmons' book on basketball, he talks about Bill Walton a lot. And Bill Walton's a really special person, so rest in peace to him too. And Jerry West, the NBA logo. Goodness, a lot of great guys and great athletes. And Jerry West, not the injury problems of Walton, but obviously had a bit of a tortured career. The only guy to win Finals MVP on the losing team. So Jerry West had a rough go. A lot of tough losses for him, but he's the NBA logo, so he'll be remembered forever. So, all right. Well, that's all from me. If you're a Celtics fan, congratulations. If you're not a Celtics fan, you probably are mad the Celtics won. So, be happy with the idea of Anthony Edwards winning it next year, because I feel like everybody would be happy with that. And if you wouldn't be happy with that, you got to re-examine things, so he's fun. Okay. I'll see you all in the next one for our celebration episode 100. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but it's gonna be a great one, mate. I don't know why I became Australian for a moment there. It's gonna be a wild one. Absolutely diabolical. That was just butcher. Okay. All right. I mean it. Go to bed.